Rusty, and then Mike.
About Sonoma. A lot of drivers say it's a technical track. Just could you explain to fans what makes a good road course driver? Some guys, it's easier than for others to transition to road courses.
It is, and I'm not sure why that is. Some guys do better on flat tracks. Some guys do better on bank tracks. Some guys do better on short tracks. Some guys do better on long tracks. I don't know why it suits their, it suits them that way, but that seems to be the deal. For me, road racing always was easy because it's what I grew up driving country roads in Arkansas and country dirt roads, and my object was to drive as fast as I could and stay out of the ditch, which is exactly what road racing is. So that's just it just kind of came natural to me. But now I don't. Now, the last couple road courses I've run, I didn't look like I knew how to do it. So who knows?
Mike Vega.
Hi, Mark. Mike Vega, Boston Globe. But I'm a dad, too, and I know what it means to want to see your son stand up for himself. In two-part question, in certain regards, is that what we saw Joey do last week, for the first time, really to stand up for himself? And two, is it possible to win respect in this series, as competitive as it is, without stepping on somebody's toes?
Well, I think that if you want my guess is the rub with Harvick and the rub with Biffle came from Joey racing really hard, not really easy. Okay, the rub came from Joey racing really, really, really hard, and him being a new face at doing that, tends to get your attention. And might even irritate you, because I've had Joey race around me and run so good that I was irritated, because Joey Logano shouldn't be, able to run side by side with me for 10 laps. You know what I'm saying? So I think the media needs to make sure they get their arms around that and understand that Joey hasn't been driving soft on the racetrack and all of a sudden got run over. Joey's been racing hard on the racetrack, and eventually he will earn everyone's respect. He has earned my respect by racing hard and causing very little problems. Don't forget, most of the guys that come in here and are new at it and race really hard cause a lot of problems accidentally. I don't mean to, but they do, and Joey is not. So that's something to keep in mind as well. He is earning everyone's respect. It does take time, unfortunately, even for someone as bright as Joey Logano. It still takes him time to build that respect.
Back in the back, question.
Yeah,
Raise your
Matt,
hand back there. Go ahead. Okay.
Matt Miff to Oakland Press here. Last week after the race, Tony Stewart said that was some of the worst racing he had seen in his career, and he's a veteran, and you're a veteran too. Some of the moves people made at the end, would you agree with Tony that some were kind of questionable, and what do you think about that kind of racing when people do stuff like that?
Well, I think racing's changed. Tony Stewart's one of my favorite people there are, and he told you what he thought, what he felt. The racing is changing. It didn't, years ago it didn't used to be that way. But it is this way today. Pocono lends itself to being one of the ones that would be more prominent for those kind of moves and those kind of decisions and things. And you will certainly see more of that in the future, not less. And in some ways, I'm glad I'm 51 and not 31, because I'm going to enjoy watching these things in the future instead of dragging them in on the hook.
Anything else from Mark? Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. So if you were Kevin Harvick, do you figure that Joey Logano is going to give you a shot before the season's over?
If I was Kevin Harvick and I didn't know Joey Logano, I would say yes. I think Joey Logano still has enough integrity to continue to try to make that right and make that work without doing it. But I might be wrong. I'm not Joey. But if I'm Harvick, yeah, I'm going to figure out, I've got one. I've got one coming.
Final question, Dustin.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Mark, I just want to ask you, you're talking about how the racing has changed. Obviously, we've seen the different rule changes in the last year. Is it simply just over the last year that you're seeing this dramatic, I guess, would you call it a dramatic shift? And why are we, is it simply because of that, or why are you seeing that? And what more can you give me a sense of what's more different from your seat than 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Well, this movement has been gaining momentum, but when, through race cars getting more and more equal in speed, the field getting more and more equal in speed, more numbers of cars, same speed, more cars on the lead lap. Now with the wave around rule, that really increases, and the double file restart on top of that, really magnifies it. So track position, becomes ever more important, and you can steal those spots by making a wild and crazy move that works inside the last 10 laps. You're going to see more of it. That's the future of our racing. That's where it's headed.
If I was coming in as a driver today, would I need to be a different type of driver than somebody that came in 5 years ago? Would I need a different skill set because of this changing skill set that's going to be required?
I don't think so, because if you're coming in today, you're going to adapt to whatever is needed, as you did 5 years ago, or as you did 25 years ago. 25 years ago, you needed not to wreck a car, because if you wrecked very many, you would get fired. Now, it's different, So you had to drive a certain way and adapt to those circumstances 25 years ago, or 5 years ago, or today. And, that's one thing that I will say that I've managed to do fairly well, and I'm going to fall right in there with them. This is what we're doing today, and I plan to be, relevant.
Mark, thanks so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.